calls to send signals, but the HTTP allowed things, websites written in HTML and later with CSS, images, and so on, to be published. So there's been a revolution in payments.
Democracy, poverty reduction, and cryptocurrency.
Communities get their own currency.
Decentralized social networks.
So Web 1.0 was about publishing information, and it decentralized the ability to publish information. So before Web 1.0, I needed to have a radio station or a TV station or a newspaper or a magazine, some sort of infrastructure and distribution agreements to publish and distribute my newspaper. And all that got replaced with the internet, with a protocol called HTTP. And essentially it was able to disseminate information using other protocols to send signals. But the HTTP allowed things, websites written in HTML and later with CSS, images, and so on, to be published. So little by little, people were able to, instead of having access to infrastructure, anyone in the world would be able to put up a web server that listens for HTTP requests coming in from anywhere in the world, and is able to publish a hyperlinked website, and they all hyperlink to each other. So it transformed the world, where the world we're living in today takes it for granted, but newspapers had a limited geographic region, usually, where they were circulating. And radio stations had to have syndicates, and the signal had to go. With the internet and packet switching, things changed. So not only can we do this video right now practically for free, whereas 20 years ago we needed to pay $3 a minute for the voice over IP became almost free. And with the web, it gave power for people to publish, which previously could not. So the geographic reach increased, and the means by which you publish changed from having access to infrastructure and institutions and old boys clubs to having anyone can throw up a code. So that's one. Okay, that's Web 1.0. Web 2.0 was about not just consuming information on websites, but producing. So it's called user-generated content. So people publish comments, and then they started to collaborate, communicate, write Wikipedia, and the kind of thing where you don't just read, but you write to the database. And so Web 2.0 essentially also changed the world, because now people on Facebook are able to find out other people, connect in all kinds of ways, okay, and have online events. And now with Clubhouse, for example, the trend continues. So you can have voice and follow people, and Twitter you can follow, and so on. All of these systems have essentially transformed the world and continue to be disrupted, continue to evolve. So now a third one is Web 3.0, and that's transferring value. Before, people weren't able to transfer value through computers because the double spend problem. In other words, I have a file and I can copy the file and I could send it to 1,000 people. And all those 1,000 people are none the wiser that I had sent it to the other 999. So if you extend to me credit in a credit money way, I could tell you I'll pay you back $10. And you think, oh, it's only $10. But what you don't know is I've also said that to 100,000 other people. And so that $10 is practically worthless because I've overextended myself. So people have invented third-party ledgers, and Bitcoin was the first one, but it's only the first generation. But Bitcoin has become the face of cryptocurrency, Web 3. So the third-party ledger is essentially a shared data structure, and everyone can see it in the world. And you can only make transactions based on the rules. With Bitcoin, the rule is simple. If you don't have the money, you can't send the money, right? So it's only, if you don't have the Bitcoin balance sufficient to send, the transaction fails, okay? So that's Web 3.0. And what I want to get at is that Web 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0 have early projects and then have an evolution. So Web 1.0 had search engines like Alta Vista, Ask Jeeves, all these things, and then it became Google and Bing. Okay. Web 2.0 had Friendster and MySpace, and those were pretty good, but now we have Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Clubhouse, Telegram. So things improved, or shall we say, things became more adopted this way. So with
Well, you also you also had the evolving monopolization of those channels. So as those channels became more and more dominant, it became possible for them to censor you, as I've been censored on Wikipedia and to some extent on Facebook. And so, it's a continual battle to keep the internet open and the World Wide Web free and accessible to everyone, and not have your voice muted.